Okay, so this video is going to be a little weird. It's kind of an update video, but also me trying to be completely transparent and vocalize the internal struggle I've been dealing with for the last almost a year now, I guess? As much as I hate it, the editing will also be very minimal, so I won't be really cutting to various clips and whatnot, just kinda talking over some gameplay. Let me just start from the beginning. As a kid, I always wanted to make YouTube videos. I didn't really have the means to do so, like technology and so forth, but I often tried to do things for fun anyways. There was a point where I even uploaded some of those goofy creations like skits, let's plays, etc. to this very channel. As trends on YouTube changed, the types of things I tried to make changed with it. Ultimately though, I was never happy with any of it, hence why you don't see those videos on this channel anymore. I must have rebranded at least 5 times, likely more, before coming to the name Who Needs Normal, and I still wasn't entirely sure what I would make under that current name. I came up with the name Who Needs Normal because I thought it sounded catchy, and I thought it was the type of name where I could just make a bunch of different stuff all on one channel. Because hey, who needs a normal, consistent format? I figured I could do gaming videos covering paranormal history, and whatever else I was interested in. I came up with that plan before I had a single video in mind, but I did assume it would be mostly gaming focused. I did have games I wanted to cover, like Piglet's Big Game or Revenge of the Flying Dutchman, but I wasn't sure how exactly I was going to do it. And like I said in my first SpongeBob video, I didn't think people would really care to watch a random kid review an obscure, largely hated license game. At around the time I got the idea to make the Revenge of the Flying Dutchman video the way I did, a majority of the content I was consuming on YouTube was Did You Know Gaming and The Gaming Historian, and in the back of my mind, I was always thinking about how I would love to make videos like that. The specific video I always think of as my main inspiration was Gaming Historian's The Story of Tetris. I'd had to have watched it at least 10 times by that point, and upon one viewing, it occurred to me I could probably make something like this. I had also thought a lot about one of Did You Know Gaming's SpongeBob videos, and how they had said that Revenge of the Flying Dutchman was so flawed that it shut down the company that made it. It was such a weird concept to me, and I had tried finding sources on that statement several times, but never found anything solid. I never dug super deep though, and that night, watching the Tetris documentary, I decided I was going to attempt to solve that mystery, and create my first big project for my long dormant channel. The rest, as they say, is history. I found ways to reach out to people who were on that dev team, and they ended up sitting down with me and telling me their story. And on the inside, I was a squealing little kid that was in disbelief over not only the fact that these people helped define my childhood, but also that I was, to my knowledge, the first fan to learn what went on behind the scenes. It was a dream come true, and I will always be grateful for that. To be honest, I didn't think people would even watch the final product. YouTube is so saturated, and I had believed I was one of the only people who even cared. But clearly I was wrong. As of right now, that video just hit 16,000 views, and almost has 1,000 likes. I know that's somewhat small in the grand scheme of things, but when I look back on being a kid wishing to create videos, that kid never would have believed he would get so much as 1,000 views, let alone 16,000. After that, I just started making more stuff that I had wanted to make for years. I had been planning to make that Hitman video for a very, very long time. And like I said, Piglet's Big Game was another title that I had wanted to talk about from the very beginning. Those videos obviously didn't do incredibly well, especially the Hitman video, which is a shame, as I was and still am incredibly happy with how that one turned out. It's to be expected though, as Hitman is nearly the polar opposite of SpongeBob, and SpongeBob was what was bringing in views. I suppose that's partially why I decided it was time to make another SpongeBob project, and after receiving a request from the comments to look into Creature from the Krusty Krab's development, I surprisingly stumbled upon more undiscovered information. I wasn't much of a fan of Creature from the Krusty Krab personally, but learning what the original pitch was too good of a video opportunity to pass up, and I got to work. Midway through production, I ended up reaching out to Riders DX. I had watched some of his Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated videos, and thought it would be cool to have him help narrate the info I found. He agreed, and after a couple of weeks he sent me his recorded lines, and I thought that would be that. Then all of these SpongeBob creators I had recently followed to get info on Rehydrated started teasing something. It was revealed as the Rehydrated Relief, a charity event, and I thought it was such a cool idea, and I told writers as much. I can't remember exactly how the idea came up, but he invited me to join the event, and we decided I would release the Creature from the Krusty Krab video as a part of it. It was an amazing opportunity, and I loved working with all the creators involved. Chester of CNB Extra was one in particular that I really seemed to connect with. I had watched some of his stuff around the time when I was making my Dutchman video, and I really respected the way he presented himself as a reviewer and a creator. He ended up asking me to write a section for his Rehydrated Relief project, and after that, at least in my mind, I considered him a friend. I consider all of them friends really, but I continued to talk to Chester on a regular basis. And I went on he and his friend BJ's podcast a couple times. He's a really cool guy. So I'm sure you can tell that since the Relief event last year, I haven't put out any major videos. That's the main reason I'm making this video, and maybe I didn't have to preface so much, but I thought it would be good to give context to some of the things I'm about to say. And I guess here is where the complete transparency comes in. Basically, I'm not sure how to move forward from here. Since that last video, I've started many different projects. Last October, I had planned to do a month-long marathon, where I covered a spooky game every week until Halloween. As I got going though, I wasn't thrilled with how it was turning out, and in the end, I ran out of time and scrapped everything. I've planned other SpongeBob things that ultimately fell through, such as a Battle for Bikini Bottom video in the vein of the Dutchman video. And most recently, I've tried and failed multiple times to make videos on Rugrats Royal Ransom and Toy Story 2 Buzz Lightyear to the Rescue. The heart of the issue seems to be that now that I have an audience, I'm more self-conscious about what I'm putting out. I've become even more of a perfectionist than I already was, and can't seem to escape the constant worry that anything I make from this point onward will never be good enough, because it's never going to be as good as the SpongeBob videos. You can only capture lightning in a bottle so many times. By that I mean, just because I got lucky and found developers who would talk to me or give me information twice, doesn't mean it will ever happen again. I've tried to talk to Heavy Iron about Battle for Bikini Bottom. I've tried to talk to people from Avalanche about Rugrats Royal Ransom. In the end, those efforts were a failure, and on some level, that makes me feel like a failure. And now the fear for me has become, if I'm not making the big projects with the inside scoop, nobody will care, and I will lose the several hundred subscribers I've gained. I know it shouldn't just be about the numbers for me, and I don't want it to be. But there's this irrational little voice in my head constantly saying to me now that if I'm not consistent and making the things people are asking for, then none of it will matter and everyone will hate me. I haven't even been sure if I should participate in this year's Relief event at all, because of this little part of me saying that the others don't want me involved and that I'm not welcome. And nobody would care to watch me stream anyways since I'm not making anything new right now. I should point out that I know these thoughts are not healthy and are irrational. It's come to the point where thinking about making anything creates a storm of anxiety inside of me until it almost physically hurts, and I really, really hate it. I miss when I saw video creation as fun, and didn't feel this pressure that I can't make anything I want anymore. I've come to learn that I think I have something called imposter syndrome. If you don't know what that is, I would say Google it, because I don't think I could explain it well enough. It's become a crippling issue that has not only held me back from making videos for you guys, but also writing articles for a website that I had been freelancing for called Squad State. I honestly feel like nothing I do is right anymore. Deep down, I know it's not true, but whenever I go to try and work on something again, these thoughts come flooding back. So again, the question is, what now? How do I deal with this? Where do I go from here? I never set out to be a SpongeBob channel. I never set out to be a documentary channel. Those are just some of the things I enjoy making sometimes. I never wanted it to be the focus. Is it okay to do smaller reviews? Is it okay to cover non-Nickelodeon or non-licensed games? Do all the videos on my main channel have to be scripted reviews or documentaries? Or can I sometimes just talk about Nintendo news, or what I'm hoping to see at E3? Or what my top 10 favorite games are? Or even do a Let's Play? I recently set up a second channel for that kind of thing, and started to move forward with it, but the idea of trying to create for two separate channels became even more overwhelming than it already had been. I've discussed some of these thoughts and feelings with Chester, and he suggested that I think of my different types of content as different series. The reviews and longer documentary work could be their own thing, then other times I do the other things I mentioned and have them be their own different series. Is that what I should do? Is that okay with you guys? Should it even matter if it's okay with people when it's just my hobby? I'm really not sure right now. These thoughts and fears haven't been the only thing holding me back. They've just amplified the stress I have going on in my life right now. I can't and don't want to go into detail, but I've had some very serious, very difficult things happening in my personal life lately that makes my MS diagnosis seem like nothing. And it just seems like one thing after another, and I can't manage to catch a break and just exist for 5 seconds. So it's really upsetting to have this thing I love, video creation, that should be an escape, only cause more anxiety and frustration. I do want to continue to make stuff, not just to entertain you guys, but to keep myself sane during difficult times. Right now though, I think I need to just take a step back, commit to an official break so that people don't wonder where I am, and come back when my head is on straight and I know how to proceed. I'd like to see, based on what I've told you in this video, how you feel about me trying different things here on this main channel, and I guess I'll move forward from there. So, you guys commenting on this video would be really helpful for me to figure things out. I know I've said some crazy sounding things in this, so I want you all to know that I am okay and safe and not completely losing my mind. I've just let my fears, my self-consciousness, and my perfectionism get the better of me. I love everyone from the Rehydrator Relief, and don't really think they all hate me or don't want me involved this year. They are all very kind people, and I respect each and every one of them. As long as things work out, I will hopefully stream during that upcoming event, even though I'll probably still be on break. I may stream more on my own too if you guys want me to. One last note, Chester's been making me a new logo, and Spixie Cafe has allowed me to use some of the art they made for me on my channel. So my channel art will be changing one more time here pretty soon. It won't mean I'm immediately coming back with a new video when it changes, but think of it as a hopeful belief that I will be back soon. I'm sorry that I left you all hanging for so long, just to say it's still going to be a while. I hope you all understand, and for those of you who stick by me after all of this, thank you. You have no idea how much your support really means to me. If you want to know more about what's going on with me, and when you can expect new stuff, follow me on Twitter at WhoNeedsNormal with 3 E's. That's about all I have left to say. I'm anxious to see the reaction to all of this, so I've got to go edit as soon as I can. I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.